like to welcome you to the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association meeting. Let's stand for a word of prayer and for our pledges tonight. God, we're thankful that you've given us a country that we have freedom to worship, freedom of speech, freedom to assembly. Lord, we're thankful for the efforts that our group puts forth to help restore those liberties that you entrusted us with. We pray tonight, Lord, for our leadership in our country. We pray, Lord, that they'll make good decisions. We pray for those who are defending our nation tonight, that you'll protect them. Bless our meeting tonight. In Christ's name I pray. Amen. Amen. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, we'd like to introduce to you the president of the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association, Mr. Don Spencer.
Okay, Kendall, we did this last week. You're going to have to turn that camera on and show how many people are in this room. We got it packed, standing room only, again. Which, by the way, you guys, I want to tell everyone, you may not know this yet. There you go. Last month, we set a record for the amount of people that viewed this meeting, and it was over 35,000. So if you wonder if we're making a difference, people are concerned, people are wondering what's going on, and we're the place to help get that location and address some of those questions. Now, if I get things started right here. Okay, we got to go in here. Okay, good. Okay, who's here for the first time? Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Well, good deal. Okay, you guys out there in Facebook land, type in what parking lot you're in, what bowling alley, what restaurant that serves alcohol you may be watching from, because we've got some good stuff going here tonight. Tonight we have three legislators here tonight. So, and these guys aren't no light hitters, and we're going to go over. In fact, one I'm going to bring up real quick here because he's got other stuff he's got to do tonight and get going, and he's also going to be presenting a bill for us in public safety on Thursday morning. And it is a cleanup language for constitutional carry, and there's some other provisions in it that we're addressing to get the bill out for, like I said, maybe to the floor. But anyway, let me go over this real quick too. Now, OK2A, some of you guys have never heard me say this. Some of you guys have heard me say it a whole lot. But OK2A, we're not merely a gun organization. We are a liberty organization that realizes it may take those guns to maintain that liberty. And if we've not noticed, you may have noticed that in Virginia, they dodged one thing this last week on, okay, you get to keep your AR-15s, but we're taking just about everything else is what it looks like. Folks, we don't want that here. And it's situational awareness. And situational awareness is making sure you don't get in the predicament they're in by being stupid. Do I need to repeat that? You don't get in their situation by being stupid. So the way you prevent that is making sure you have good, positive, strong leadership, which, by the way, maybe some of you guys heard in arguments on the floor this week on House Bill 1111 that OK2A, the Representative Lowe did not want people to get a backbone. He was telling the legislature to get a backbone. And I do believe he was actually shown a backbone because there were 76 Republicans in the room and 76 Republicans voted for the bill. And the bill author is here tonight. He also happens to be a bill author that was one of the authors on constitutional carry, and his name's Kevin West, and he'll speak here in just a minute. But anyway, beforehand, House Bill 3010. You guys be a public safety committee on Thursday morning at 10:30 a.m. if you can make it. If you can make it, there's going to be a room full of them red shirts. And the red shirts were up there today at the Capitol. I didn't tell you that they were having a rally or a get-together because, folks, you don't need to be trying to go head-to-head with this. If you can imagine, is there anybody here that if a Moms Demand Action activist came in here and tried to convince us not to be gun people, liberty people, what would you do? Your opinion wouldn't change. And it's not going to be any different from you walking into their crowd. So there's no need for you to think that you need to be at a Bloomberg meeting holding up a magazine, because what is the media going to do when you're holding up a magazine, cussing out Bloomberg, and you appear to be a Second Amendment advocate? What does that make us look like? It does not help our cause one bit. It does not help our cause one bit. And I get great compliments, especially out of this group, from legislators that say, you know what, those people that come in this office, they're respectful, they're quick to the point, and they move on. Yeah, it's part of education. It's a part of the education that we provide here at OK2A. So as a part of that education, House Bill 3010, like I said, some cleanup language for constitutional carry, and it's going back through there and making sure our rights are is addressed correctly in language. And State Representative Kevin Gann. State Representative Gann is here tonight. And Representative Gann, if you come up here. Right up here. Representative Gann also, he was also an author for constitutional carry. He is also one of those nagging, annoying A++ legislators. He's been endorsed by OK2A as a candidate, and also when he's run his office again, I'm pretty sure we'll do it again for him when it comes up again also. So folks, this is what I'm talking about, your situational awareness. You put people that are confident in what they're doing along with understanding the Constitution, and before they ever get up in the office, it's a lot better, and this is a perfect example of it. State Representative Gann, I'm glad you're here tonight. Sir, if you'd say a few words.
You bet. Well, thank you all. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to just say thank you to Don Spencer and the OK2A organization. They are a liberty organization. They do protect your God-given rights to protect yourself. And I also really appreciate his educational aspect of educating people what the Constitution is, what their newfound freedom is whenever we pass constitutional carry here in the state of Oklahoma. And I appreciate him coming to my district and informing the people that we had gathered. About 125 people came, and they were concerned about the various laws and what constitutional carry means now, how it affects churches, because the church shooting in Texas had just happened. And so I just really appreciate this organization, because it's just there to provide support to our communities, and people want to do the right thing. They want to carry their guns lawfully, and they want to know that they are. And so Don is very good at keeping us educated. And then as a legislator, there's no greater resource than Don Spencer and OK2A. We don't have time as legislators often to dig so deep into these legislative bills to fine-tune them in order to get them off the House floor and get them into the Senate and get them signed by the governor. And so House Bill 3010 is one of those bills where we've gone back in and cleaned up the constitutional carry bill. And two examples, we've taken handguns and said firearms. So that's more encompassing and helps people understand what that is. Secondly, it takes a positive twist on some of the double negatives you might see sometimes in these bills, which says that you have a lawful right to carry a gun, instead of saying you don't have an unlawful right to do. But anyway, we've changed it. We've made it more positive, easier to read, and it should be just a real slam dunk. But we know, as Kevin West knows, it isn't always easy to get one of these bills through the House floor because of all the questions that you get sometimes, and sometimes all the hypotheticals you have to live through. And so it's the best quote that I can that's happened here recently was there in Inola, where I'm from, and we had the 125 people there, and they were concerned, and a man was expressing this hypothetical situation, and he said, I fear this, and the best quote of the day was, "Sir, your fear doesn't trump my constitutional rights." And that's kind of what we're hearing out of people who are just afraid, and they shouldn't be. They should be thankful that we live in a country where you can protect yourself, and we have that God-given right. So again, Don, I appreciate you being.
Appreciate you making it
You
tonight.
bet.
You bet.
Okay.
You bet. I tell you, that's the kind of guy that makes things easier. Oh, by the way, I just found out the sexiest legislator ever, Bobby Cleveland, is watching live on Facebook Live right now. Hey, Bobby! You know, no one's trying to take that title from him. Have you noticed that? No one's trying to take that title at all. That's right. Okay, let's see here. Now, as you heard, let me go back to last week. Last week we had a bill passed out of the Senate, and before you heard all of it, you know that there was going to be blood in the street and stepping over bodies and all that stuff. But House Bill 2336 passed out of the Senate, which is a teacher carry bill. And it goes back to, a lot of you guys know the basics of it, that it still requires a school board approval before it can take place. But what we added into the bill to make sure we could get it to move is that the local law enforcement is in conjunction working with the school board, and that the teachers that do carry, or the personnel that do carry, do have some type of a training once a year. Okay, whatever, that's fine. We'll do that. And so it was passed out of the Senate 37-7, I think is what it was. Yeah, real close. And same thing, you have an hour of complaining and all the what ifs, but when it gets right down to it, a local school board should be able to dictate whether they want personnel to be able to carry to defend themselves, because in some of these rural areas, which Osage County is one of them, I think I was told today there's 3 deputies that work that whole county. That's the biggest county in the state of Oklahoma. So when they say, you know, best we can do is get there in 30 minutes, I don't know how much carnage you think you can stack up in 30 minutes, but that just gives me chills thinking about it. So State Senator David Bullard passed that. It's going to come back to the House for final approval from the House and go to the governor's desk. So, and also Sean Roberts, State Representative Sean Roberts, who has that in the House. He's already passed it once there. As you saw, maybe heard the replay of yesterday on House Bill 1111. I'm sure you'll hear the same definitive that it's going to be the evil and the end of all the world. But we've got legislators here that are quite capable of stomaching through that, that stuff. But anyway, folks, that's OK2A working with this to make sure we're making sure we're keeping our kids safe, contrary to the propaganda that it's just the opposite. So, yay our side. Right? Yeah. Now then, like I say, we've got this guy that's kind of getting the hang of, it seems like any other bill he puts on the floor, gun bill he puts on the floor, he's there for a couple hours, because just nothing's easy. But this week, yesterday, House Bill 1111 passed out of the House, and with an amendments on it, and the amendments are clarifying. And I made it just as simple, folks. Basically, if there's a restaurant with a bar, you can go anywhere in that building as long as you're not consuming alcohol, carrying your firearm. It's just basically that easy. So, you can go up and now rest your elbows on the bar, and as long as you're not consuming alcohol, it's clear. It also clarifies that an employee that is just a bar, which is just the 51% rule, which is now going into effect, just a bar, that if a person enters that carrying a firearm, it's repealing the felony, 2-year felony for that, for the peaceful carry into a bar. It's going to reduce it to a misdemeanor if that person, the patron, refuses to leave, which is just like it is on any other private property. That's just the way it should be. So and also this puts it back into the bar owners and the property owners' right to control weapons. And like I said, the legislature has no business controlling weapons. That is the private property owner's job, and we're going to continue to make sure that more of that is extended back to the private property owner. So in that bill, you may have, I don't know if anyone got to hear much of it either. Oh, by the way, it also clarifies a person would be able to peacefully, legally carry into a liquor store. Like maybe you've heard me say, there's an old, antiquated law that associates if a person is carrying alcohol, which could be in a sealed container, that's still equated to consuming. That's how old this law is. And so it's one of those little gotchas. It's in the Able Commission somewhere. So to just go around it, there's no way I'm going to try to deal with an Able Commission bill at all, because I've seen the fury that can create. So to go around it is self-defense supersedes everything, period. So it supersedes it. So that's what we've done is we made sure it's in this bill, and under the Self-Defense Act, that if you're peacefully carrying a weapon, the property owner says you can carry it in there, you can carry it in there, it's done. Because I've already seen this happen. You go to Walmart, and there's mom got the kids in the cart, right, pushing the cart. She grabs a gallon of milk. The kids are getting a little crazy. She grabs a gallon of wine, sets it in there. It should not be a criminal act for mom ever to have to worry or be concerned just because she's peacefully carrying a firearm at that time. So this just puts, right, they changed the law so you can take your kid into the liquor store. Obviously, the kid's not drinking. There's no one drinking liquor store. This just needs to be upgraded, our laws. And why there was such a dogfight against this, I know why. I know the under reasons why. But anyway, State Representative Kevin West handled that for about an hour and 20, 30 minutes. Maybe that's a short bill for you. Maybe I'm giving you too easy a time. Now, also, State Representative West, on Thursday morning, we'll be hearing House Bill 3165, and he'll be presenting it. He'll be presenting it in public safety. And by the way, thank you, State Representative J.J. Humphreys. He's the chairman of the Public Safety Committee, folks. He is making this stuff move. If we get in that committee, we get stuff moved. So, Representative West will come over. But House Bill 3165 is called the Burden of Proof Bill. So basically, it makes sure it's clarified that the burden of proof is on the state of Oklahoma and not the individual in a self-defense act. So I'm just going to let him speak about that just for a moment and talk about the lovely time you had yesterday.
Well, Don definitely made 1111 sound a whole lot easier than it sounded on the House floor, because by the time that we got into debate, I was kind of second guessing. I was looking through the bill again because I thought that it was adding, carrying campus and public schools and all this other stuff. At the end of that bill in my final debate, I brought that up. I said, of all the questions that we had on that bill, there were only about 3 that actually dealt with what the bill did, and just a lot of what if scenarios. But we've gotten used to that. On the 3165 burden of proof, this is a bill that I've talked to Don about for a couple of years. And we finally felt like it was time to move forward with it. And basically, in a situation where you do have to defend yourself, rather than being presumed guilty and having to prove your innocence, it's the other way around, which is the way that our legal system should work anyway. So I'm sure once that makes it to the floor, that'll be another hour and a half of my life that I won't get back, but it's well worth it to be able to stand on the House floor and know that what I'm fighting for is, it's not something that's just my personal wants. It's what Oklahoma wants, and Representative Gann put it very well when he said, that there are only a couple of groups that come up to the Capitol and lobby for things that not only give you information, good information, but they also have your back when you're running this legislation, or even if you're not running it, you vote for it. You can count on OK2A to have your back when you cast those votes. And if you're one of those that don't vote for liberty, they'll call you out on it. I do find it kind of funny.
He's so kind.
I do find it kind of ironic that the groups that do that are the groups that are supporting liberty and freedoms, and so that's very encouraging to me. And, you know, to come to one of these meetings and see such a great group of Oklahomans here just reassures me that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So thank you for supporting the legislators that are up there fighting this fight. You know, like I said, you can go back and you can look at the archives if you're not able to go to the Capitol when these bills are being heard. And, you know, you hear us talk when we do these meetings about, you know, some of the crazy things that get said, but trust me, it's on video. It's out there, and you know you're going to get everything. You know, I found out today that 1111 is actually being dubbed the gunslinger bill. So you know where they got that, I have no idea. But I do thank you. I thank you for supporting me. Supporting the legislators like Representative Gann, Representative Hardin that's here. You know, it really means a lot to us to know that you have our backs. So thank you very much.
Also, with Representative West, it's nice. He's got this brain that I don't think mine would work that way. But when you discuss a philosophy and what's going on, he pretty much absorbs it in one run. And so the rehearsal periods, even though we still do it just to see if there's something else that comes up, I mean, he's on track, and he's just as cool as can be with these barrage of just redundant, ridiculous questions. But he continues to stay right there and handle it. So, yay our side, right? One more time. Absolutely. Now then, and I don't have the bill number, so I'm just going to describe what it is.
Question.
Oh, yeah, question.
Okay, this is an online question from Bobby.
Bobby,
He
is his
wants
last
to-
name Cleveland?
Yes, it is. Bobby wants to know about his personal marijuana use. He wants to know if he can smoke marijuana while he's in public, while possessing a firearm.
Well, for starters, I'd like to see that happen. Bobby Cleveland firing up a doobie with a 45 on his hip.
And also, as it relates to the bar, if he's not drinking but he's smoking in a bar, that's the first question.
Boy, Bobby, I don't know what you... Okay, Bobby, to make it clear, don't participate with your prescription while carrying a firearm. It doesn't matter what your prescription is, whether it's opioids, whether what it is, because under the influence is one problem. Under the second problem is that since it is a Schedule 1 drug and not a Schedule 2 drug, the state may say it's okay, but the feds don't. So I wouldn't go picking a fight. You probably won't win, and you probably end up in a spot that you don't need to be. So I would not go there. So there. Bobby Cleveland?
Bobby Cleveland, I said online. And he not only asked it, but he insisted that we ask you the question.
You got any more?
The other one concerning SJR.
SJR 16. Just in general?
Yeah,
Just in general. Maybe some of you guys watched, I posted a letter that was presented to Senator Yeck out of Hennessy, who is the one that's presenting. It's in the Rules Committee. So we're going to start making, and all these senators are difficult to catch, so I don't want you to think he's trying to avoid me when I say I can't get a hold of that's not what's going on here. But like I say, they're just difficult to catch. I need to sit down and have a meeting with him and ask him, are you going to hear it or not? Nice, polite phone calls, emails into him are always encouraging, folks. That's not an issue. That's not a problem. And you spell it J-E-C-H. It's pronounced Yeck, Senator Yeck. And Senator Bullard is the one carrying the bill, but obviously, we, like everything else, you got to get out of committee before you can go anywhere with it. So that's what the latest is on that, as far as I know. Okay, now, some of you guys have heard, and this is actually, I find quite inspiring, the Second Amendment Protection Act. Just on face value, how can you not like it, right? Well, we're fortunate to have another representative here that ran the bill. It ran into some problems, which just happens sometimes. And so we figured out what the problems are. So we're going to be resurrecting it, and it'll be in a different bill number. And we're not going to say the bill number because I don't want the opposition to know what we're going to be sticking it into. Because, like I said, this is like a military operation. You don't want to give away all your secrets because then that's what easily builds up against you. But anyway, I want to thank, and he's here tonight, State Representative Hardin. You want to come up here for a second? He's not a big talker. But the bill's pretty clear that the federal government and state money should not be used to help the federal government do the federal government's basically dirty work of enforcing bills and items like that to take away people's guns and infringe upon our Second Amendment rights. So I'm going to give you just a second. Man, I appreciate you making it here tonight too, dude. All right, anyway, Representative David Hartman.
Thank you all. I want to thank Don and everybody for inviting me here. The Second Amendment Protection Act, I actually got it last session out of Missouri. Don't know if it ever hit the floor, don't know if it passed Missouri or not, but it basically said that if the order was given from the federal government that no state, local, municipal, county law enforcement officer would be able to assist the federal government in doing that order. So I took it to a bill writer and left it with her all summer. We worked on it, and I got the idea, said, well, if the federal government's going to do that, let's drop it back to the state government. State, municipal, county. Not that I think that this president or this governor is going to do that, but we don't know who's coming in the future.
Right.
And so, as the sheriff of Adair County, I was constitutional sheriff. I can tell you right now, I'll fight for my firearms. I'll fight for all of my, amendment rights. But anyway, we put the bill together. I'm like Don, it's like if you read our oath, if you read the law enforcement oath, if you read the military oath, we're going to protect the Constitution. So I really didn't think there was an issue until I got 3 hours before the bill was getting ready to run, talked to the chairman of the board or the committee, and he said, "You really need to start lobbying this." Well, there were some issues in there where with law enforcement and what would happen if law enforcement actually enforced this. Well, I'm not for firing any law enforcement. I wore the uniform for 40 years, but there has to be something in the end that's going to be a deterrent for doing it. So we hashed through that, and I got hammered to death. I'll tell you, in that committee meeting, I felt like custard at the Little Bighorn. It just wasn't good. And I have to admit, some of them were legitimate questions. We get past that. So, as Don said, I hear there's plans. We will divulge very little that this bill is going to be run again in another bill through another committee, and we're going to support it. I'm going to support it. I want to give Representative West. He took a beating on the floor too, and he was cool and calm the whole time. He truly was, and how you could sit there with our oath and not go and defend not only the second Constitution, but every right that we have given to us by our forefathers. Amen. Is just beyond me. But anyway, I appreciate y'all having me here.
Appreciate it too. Thank you for making it so very much. So I guess we're going to see if Adair County signs on for Second Amendment sanctuary.
It's already been given to the sheriff, whether you will or not.
We'll see. Okay, that's what we're doing. In fact, I want to go over that just for a minute too. I said all along, early on, OK2A is not going to get involved in going county to county, help promoting sanctuary counties. We're going to make this a sanctuary state. And with SJR 16, which is a clarifying in our state constitution that your rights shall not be infringed, is a very good way for us to get there. Now, also make it clear too, I live in Logan County, and I've lived there for 28 years. Yeah, Logan County, got a Logan County fans here. I've lived there for 28 years, so Logan County obviously is my backyard, and I am very, very proud to have not only one of the Board of Commissioners here who voted it in support of the sheriff, which was the first state to do that, and his phone is the one that's going off. Isn't that about classic? Isn't that classic? But anyway, Commissioner Marvin Goodman, stand up just for a second there, would you? Marvin Goodman. I'm sorry?
And the first county.
First calendar.
First county.
Oh, First County. Okay. Sorry. Too many firearms going off for too many years here. So anyway, but yeah, the first county to take the step in Oklahoma to move on this movement. Now, folks, it's, people say, oh, it's just a waste of time. Well, no, it's sending a message that we're in Oklahoma. We're not going to just sit here and let you think you're going to come and take our guns, or for any reason that's just not constitutional. And so a lot of these people are, and the folks, I'm not going to listen to it, I'm not going to tolerate it. Well, does that mean we can get our machine guns and all that stuff and the sheriff's going to defend us? No, that's not what that means. That means common arms and common use, which is completely within the Constitution. All right, if you have your paperwork to have a machine gun, power to you. Yeah, he's going to make sure he'll make, if you're legally having that machine gun, it's not going to be an issue. But don't think you're going to go rob a bank and the sheriff's going to defend you. That's not what this is about. And the crazy stuff on that. Now, since then, I think when I came in here tonight, there was 18 was what it was up to. And I've done nothing more than just be at the first one. I'm so proud of these counties and these guys who are just taking this on and saying, are we going to do this or not? And I don't consider it myself an election year ploy. Look at Virginia, folks. Look at Virginia. This needs to happen, whether it's election year, not election year, whatever. It needs to be attention drawn to it. And I want to thank Sheriff Devereaux for being involved with this. And he's been a strong supporter of Second Amendment. He had no problem when Logan County became the first county to have county employees that could carry on the job. No problem. Just fine with him. And we'll continue to move that forward. And also, we've got a bill in with State Representative Roberts, which will allow municipal employees to carry while on the job too. So that's another one that we're working to continue to push on through. It's not scheduled for a committee hearing yet, but anyway, we're still working on that. Any questions on that? None online? Did they all fall asleep online?
You just answered the one online. They were asking about sanctuary counties.
Sanctuary counties. Okay, so anyway, that's it. So no, OK2A is not going to jump out and go knocking door to door at every county to get them signed on. No, that's what you guys do. It's your backyard. It's your backyard. You get them to do it. And you know what? There's some that aren't going to like to do it. And if they don't want to do it, I would say it's time to replace them. Because at what point are we going to say it's situational awareness? And this is one of those things that pop up that let you know, oh, if a guy won't sign a piece of paper that says, you know what, we're not going to let the feds come in here and do this to people because it's their sheriff's job anyway, they need to be looked at being replaced. It's just nothing personal. It's just the Constitution. That's it. Okay, other bills that we're looking to get heard. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Where'd it go? Oh. Talking about bragging on J.J. Humphreys, State Representative Humphreys, who's chairman of the Public Safety. Thursday, Representative Humphreys will be hearing the bill, introducing the bill, providing the bill for capital carry in the state capital of Oklahoma. Yep. Now, I want to make sure, so if you've heard something separate, and I don't want to hear any whining, I'm just telling you right now, the bill for a person that has a valid handgun license would be allowed to carry in the state capital of Oklahoma a concealed handgun. That's what it says. So you guys will go, what about open carry? I don't want to hear it. Don't even start. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a good deal. Yeah. Well, why can't I carry my granddaddy's 36-inch long tom 12? Because it doesn't conceal. Unless you walk real funny and you're really tall, it doesn't conceal. So, and again, it's about, folks, it's not about bling. It's not about showing off. It's about security and being able to defend yourself. And for you to have, if you just got to keep it, the coat over or whatever, so be it, man. So be it. We'll go there. Because again, we're going to open up an area of a no-gun zone. And also the one thing too, falling back to, so an officer knows when you walk up there, you present him that license, he knows you've been through a background check and that you're good to go on through there. It makes it easier for law enforcement. Maybe someday down the road we'll have it to where it's unlicensed, but that's not on my radar at this moment. Okay, 4 states that touch Oklahoma have this: Texas, Kansas, Missouri. Kansas, you just go. You don't even have to have a license. Just carry your gun in there. And Colorado, yeah, was it called? No, New Mexico. New Mexico has it also. So again, and for me, and the Texans have had it for over 10 years without an issue. And we all know, you've heard me say, them Texans aren't better behaved than we are. I just refuse to accept that. So that's going on Thursday morning. I would imagine that bill's going to draw some very serious attention.
Yep.
Very serious attention, and there'll probably be a room full of them red shirts sitting there voting for it. You guys don't believe that, do you? No. Okay. All right. Just checking. All right. So anyway, there'll be a room full of people there. So if you're going to be there early so you can get in the room and get a seat, because I imagine it's going to be full. It's going to be full of media, and it's going to be full of people. You had a question?
Is this going to be in committee Thursday?
Committee Thursday morning, Public Safety Committee. At, I'm sorry we didn't have that at your convenience there.
What room, Don?
4th floor, it's probably 412C.
Yeah,
Is that right, 412C? So that's what it'll be in, 412C. And folks, and I don't mean to make this sound huffy or puffy. If you're coming up there, don't call me to ask me where to park. Don't call me, ask me what room it's in. You're adults, you can find your way around. There's so many things I'm doing, and sometimes at once, it's not a useful distraction. So I don't want to make it sound like I don't want to talk to you or see you, but there's just some stuff going on, and I would think you would notice we're actually getting some stuff accomplished doing this, and this is what it takes. So anyway, on that. Now, where did I go? Now then, I'm not giving parking directions. I just said I'm not doing it. What? You sound like my wife here correcting me. All right. Got my work spouse right here, just about. So, yeah. Pays great, huh? Yeah. Now, also, what's going on the calendar, which, like I say, you're going to want to be there Thursday. Have your OK2A shirt, hat, whatever you can. And, oh, by the way, don't wear a hat inside a committee room. It's just not cool. But anyway, folks, House Bill 357. House Bill 357. Anybody know which one that is? You know what the bill that is?
That's the one to repeal what we worked so hard on last year, constitutional carry.
That's right. So you're wondering why on earth would we be hearing that bill? Well, Representative Lowe wants to hear it. He's got an initiative petition in to take it away. So we would like to remind him one more time, if the people want this, you have the people that are represented through their representatives show up there and vote against it. So we want to settle this thing. We want to make sure, because we want to make sure that that's the message. Okay, Representative Lowe, here's your opportunity. You're saying it's such a dangerous state. Everything is so terrible. You show up and you present that bill. And we're going to let him do it. Right? We're going to let him do it because I'm telling you, folks, the legislature is not going to back off this. So if we want to take however long it's going to take for this bill to be heard, let them air it out, ask their questions, tell their speeches, let them do it, and then we'll vote. Because we are a representative republic, and that's what we're going to do, okay? So if you wonder, what the heck is going on? I'm telling you, that's what's going on. We're going to show this is not wanted in Oklahoma. We already fixed it, and we're just going to remind you it's fixed, okay? Any questions on that?
No.
I see stunned faces in front of me, which I don't usually see like this, unless I say a word that rhymes with cities. Maybe that's why we got so many people watching last month, you suppose? Boy, that was rough, too. I had to go home and tell my wife I did that. She laughed her head off. So she didn't watch the replay, though, so okay. So anyway. Okay, so if you wonder what's going on, that's the deal. And a lot of things I want you, and I remind you guys, there's a lot of things I don't tell you, but I'm just telling you, be there and watch what goes on. It's important, okay? And like I said, I don't give you a whole lot of details, but I'm telling you, that's the one you want to be there to see. Now then, any questions on that? None? Okay, Senate Bill 1673. This is going to clarify language, or actually change the law, clarify it, make your head work a lot easier. That, that loaded AR or shotgun or pistol, when you're standing outside your car and it's perfectly legal, it's going to be perfectly legal when you put that loaded AR, shotgun, whatever it is, in your car. It will be perfectly legal when you transport it. For me to have to sit there, it's just aggravating. Okay, you can have it chamber empty, but you can have a magazine loaded, and you got a lot of people scratching their head when it's not that big a deal, folks. It's your car, it's your gun. You carry it the way you want. It's no one else's business. The government's got no business telling you how you can carry it. Now, make it clear, too, if you get pulled over at a traffic stop, you will still be consistent. That you will have to inform the officer upon his request if you have any weapons in the car. And it's, folks, it's to your advantage to do that. I mean, if you want to, the objective at a traffic stop is what?
Get out of the ticket.
Get out of the ticket. What, am I the only guy that want to pay a ticket? Right. Get out of the ticket. So the courteous you are to a law enforcement officer, the more likely that things are going to work the right way and being cooperative like that. And no, that doesn't mean you're giving up the world here. You're just trying to keep from giving up your wallets, kind of what it amounts to on that. Now, also, kind of on that same story, we've got some people, and if you've noticed, our Facebook group continues to just grow 50, 100 people a week, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to clarify one more thing. This group is not and will not be a cop-hating, cop-beating group. That is not what we are. All right? We're not going to do that. As a guy, and you guys have seen the videos, who has been abused by law enforcement on my rights and also had battery committed upon me, I'm the one telling you here, we're not going to be that on this group. So you guys, and there's not very many, but if you think, and I don't care if you're a dues paying member, you're not going to get on there, and the first time somebody says something that you think you're going to jump down their throat about it, and you think you're going to get away with it. I'm tired of hearing people complaining about the cop haters on the group. So I'm not going to call it out by name yet, but we're just going to start hitting the old block button, because I don't have time to deal with that, folks. Not going to have time to deal with it. Well, Spencer, you think it's a perfect world? No, I've already described to you. Now, what we will do, like we do a lot of things, if a law enforcement officer does make a mistake, yeah, I don't have a problem with us pointing it out, but we're not going to be cop haters. Well, that's not what this group is about. In fact, this group, I'm pleased, we actually have law enforcement joining financially to this group, deputies, police officers, and stuff. And so it's not about sucking up to them, folks. It's about education. Yes. Because what we're doing here, they're coming in and they want to know what the laws are and what they're going to be, what direction we're taking this. So now, as of tonight, we actually have law enforcement officers saying, so those guys are going to be able to carry long guns loaded in their cars. Well, they already know what's going to happen if we get it passed come November the 1st. So how much better as it is to start informing what's going to take place now? That's a part of this education that I push so hard, that we push so hard for. And like I say, there's officers that will private message me, what is this law? What does this do? So we're getting information out there. And some of them, and folks, we've also got this. There's a couple judges use a fake name on our group. You know why?
Yeah.
So they can be kept informed on what the law is and what it looks like and where it's going. And I've actually had some very good conversations with it, and I'll be, and some of them are some, good donors, but like I said, they use a fake, and we've got law enforcement officers who use a fake name because they may be in a culture of an area that don't think that's too popular because they think OK2A is a bunch of cop haters. No, we are liberty lovers first.
Yep. Yes.
First, period. So
Yes.
that's what this is based on. So, okay, that is a fair warning. And like I say, that Facebook group is great. I actually got another email from a mom from the teacher carry bill that they sat down at dinner that night and they discussed the teacher carry bill and how that worked. The kids learned about school board. They learned about how it would work with law enforcement and so on. So they're sitting down, and my gosh, can you imagine being at dinner without having your phone doing this and actually converse? So we're on the right, because folks, if we don't have the youth, we've lost it all. We've lost it all. So I want to remind people of that too. Now let's see what. Oh, look, I've got a whole other page of bills. Question?
2 questions online. One is from Daniel. Wanted to know about SB 1081 on the pre-exemption to the red flag law.
Oh, good job. It's going to be heard in Judiciary Committee in the Senate, from what I was just told. So that bill basically shuts down that no federal, the state will not accept federal dollars to implement any type of these red flag laws, which, you follow the money trail. That's how a lot of this crap happens. And also, I love watching President Trump. Bill Barr, he does some stuff, but he's not good on guns, and he's trying to funnel backdoor money in for red flag laws to help support some of that. So this is a way to just tell the federal government, nope, stop right there. We're not going to take it, and we're not going to take it. And if you don't take it, that means it doesn't get used because the local municipalities and stuff just can't keep up with that. So that's part of that. Second question?
Second question from George. Wanted to know if the Oklahoma Real ID Act, how it will affect concealed carry licenses, if there's any correlation there.
Well, since the license one is actually a separate physical license and there is no anticipation of that being added to a driver's license, I don't see that there'll be a change. In fact, I'm glad you brought that up, George, because I had a meeting with the OSBI today and on making sure, and this is looking good, it's the federal government's the problem, it's not the OSBI, so I want to make that real clear here, guys. The OSBI is working hard to make sure that your license has a NICS background check. So when you go to the gun show or here to buy a firearm, you'll be able to show your SDA license, and that will be your background check. Now, the goofy part, if you get a 5-year license, this is easy. If you have a 10-year license, it's complicated because the federal government says we only allow this on a 5-year license. And so my suggestion today was, well, it's easier to change the state government, I've learned, than the federal government. My first suggestion was just take it all back to a 5-year license. And they went, oh. And I'm like, well, I mean, that worked. And I explained why. And they said, well, we understand that. And they said, but the way we've got this set up, that the FFL will simply have to be the guy that looks down there to see if you're within that first 5 years on your 10-year license. So, well, if you got it figured out, that's how we'll do it. But the best way to fix it would be to, which I've been trying to get a hold of Senator Inhofe, because this is one of the things we want to fix, is to make that stretch to 10 years and this problem goes away. Just that easy. But Senator Inhofe, I cannot, in fact, it was hysterical. One of his people called me last week. We'd like to fill out a survey for an endorsement. So that's great because I've requested twice to speak with him, and you guys can't even get that organized. How do you expect you're going to get an endorsement from us? And he's supported Second Amendment stuff, but I just need to have a 15-minute conversation with him. I'll come to anywhere in the state. I've made that twice, and they've made sure that meeting hasn't taken place. So he may not even know it's his people. Hey, your people, Imhoff's people, you're screwing up. You're just screwing up. So just let you know that. And I've not, like I say, I don't go out to just take people's time up, but that's one of the things I wanted to talk to him about. Yes, Pastor Vineyard.
You should all call his office
Well, I thought the question or the point was everyone call his office. I thought about doing a blitz like that, but it shouldn't be that tough. It just shouldn't be that tough. Like I said, we're not a little rinky-dink group here, and I think we've established that. And like I said, I just don't go knocking up on someone's door just to so we can sit there and put our feet up on their desk and just yak. I've got some serious things I want to talk to them about and make sure we can understand. And there's no reason the system that they have set up shouldn't work. I don't want to burden some secretary that's going to have to take 500 phone calls in an hour, because we can do that. We could light that thing up. I want the system to work. They want them to make sure that his office contacts me and we can have a conversation. And I'm not asking too much here. I think that if I really stressed a conversation with the governor of Oklahoma, I would get it. But so far, he's done things so well, it's just not had to happen. So, gee, what a good problem, huh? Yeah. So anyway, any other questions on that? Yes.
Going back to the issue of constitutional carry, this is an online question from Tyler. Was pulled over by law enforcement, informed the law enforcement he had a firearm. Law enforcement said, great, wonderful, he was constitutionally carrying. He said, as long as you're open carrying only. And Tyler wants to know, was the law enforcement correct, or can he in fact carry constitutionally concealed?
Well, when I wrote the bill, when we worked to pass the bill, and when we had representatives here that voted for the bill, it is your choice. It's not the law enforcement officer's choice. You carry it concealed, you carry it open, that is completely up to you. It is not to fall upon the law enforcement officer. I always duly respect you. Tell officer, with all due respect, your statement is inconsistent with state law. A person can carry the gun as they see fit. Now, inside the vehicle, it still has to be a chamber empty long gun, but the handgun can be fully loaded, ready to go.
Concealed or open, either
Concealed or open. And also, folks, let's go back to that on the car carry part of it. Folks, you get pulled over, who are we kidding? You've done something wrong. Right. For all practical reasons. Put your hands up there at 10 and 2, fingers extended. Now, you know what that's telling that officer? Telling him you've got a gun. Yeah. They know that's what they're looking for, because people that are trained, people respectful, they're going to do that. And so also make sure, ladies especially, don't have that gun in your purse, because that's where you have to go to get your wallet. It's not fair to that officer for you to put him in that type of situation. Don't leave your gun. Don't put your gun in the glove box. It's where you've got your insurance papers. It's not fair to that officer. The best place you can do is have that gun on your person, because it's always the most secure, period. It's the most secure. And he says, well, where is it? You just tell him where it's at. So, well, my wallet's right by it, and he'll say okay, and just follow his instructions. And I've actually had the officer, when I've told him I'm licensed, I'm carrying, I've had him say, well, okay, I don't care, I just wanted to just talk to you for a second, and blah blah blah. Oh, great, that's $150, no problem there. Yeah, talk all you want. You can talk bad about my mom at that point. Sorry, mom. Sorry, mom. So, but it goes back to, folks. You be respectful, and I've actually had an officer be really pissy and unprofessional, but as soon as he saw my license come out, it all changed. So, I mean, there's an element, especially officers are under attack. You can decide for yourself whether it's self-inflicted or not, but they're under attack, and it's understandable. I mean, and God love Chris West out in Canadian County. They just lost an officer this week on just an accident, and a really good officer. So be respectful, and it'll help you in the long run. I still always fully recommend recording any interaction with the officer without being rude about it. Is that mine? Someone got a message for me? You want me to get that for you? So anyway, I always recommend that also. Now, like I say, that bill, did I tell that bill number? Yes, 1673. All right. We've got a lot of the same bills in the Senate. And like I say, the SB 1081 is the anti-red flag bill. That looks like that will be scheduled to be heard in Senate Judiciary. Thank you, Senator Julie Daniels out of Bartlesville. She is the Senate chair, and she's one sharp lady. She's awesome. And sometimes awesome comes in smaller packages. So there you go. All right. Also, let's see. We've got some other bills that are in House Judiciary Committee. We need to get them moved or get them heard. And Judiciary Committee had to have a bye this week where they're not hearing any bills because I think the chairman's just out of town or something's going on. But anyway, hopefully we can get those heard or moved for next week, along with some of our other stuff. But basically, here, I got two other things here. Hang on here. Okay. We've experienced a lot of growth, and I don't even have the count on how many new chapters we have. I need to check with Wayne on that. K County is going to be Saturday, February the 29th at noon in K County. High noon. K County. That'll be Saturday at noon. There's going to be 3 legislators at this meeting in K County. Their first meeting was like 60 or 70. You were there, Josh. 60 people there for the very first meeting. So also, who is scheduled to be there? Yeah, that's great. I know. Let's see. State Representative John Pfeiffer out of House District 38, Senator Bill Coleman out of Senate District 10, and Representative Ken Luttrell out of House District 37 are going to be speaking at that. And so I highly request anyone in the area. People say, well, we're going to have them close to us. Well, get in your car and drive to that one. There's your one. 10 chapters. 10. We're 10 chapters. Okay. Now, this Thursday night, who is it that does that? I forget who does it. Oh, I thought it was David Letterman. Okay, all right. This Thursday night at the Higher Plain Baptist Church, and the address is 6810 Northwest 122nd, is an active shooter seminar. Folks, this is free. Show up. Be an active shooter seminar. And the church can handle a bunch of people. Just come on. We'll make it work. So anyway, but if you've never been to one, if you just have a curious, if you just want to come down and say hi to other OK2A people across the state, that'd be a great time to do that. But that's this Thursday night. U.S. Law Shield will be there because U.S. Law Shield's everywhere, if you remember. That's right. Yeah. That's what. No, it's your. That's your event. Well, I'm sorry. It's at the church. But it is being put on by U.S. Law Shield.
Time again?
6:30 p.m. It's 6810 Northwest 122nd Street. Just off of Rockwell. All right. And if you're in the 21st century, you just tell your phone and it tells you how to get there. Right? No excuses. All right. Any questions?
That's 10 new chapters.
10 new chapters.
Total of 13 chapters. Wow.
13 chapters. Thank you, Wayne Hill. Keep up the good work. Yeah. Now, I'm sorry? Oh, here. I'm sorry. Stand up. Yeah. Give me your names again.
Josh Crowley, Lincoln County.
Lincoln County? Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay. Stand up.
How did you forget about that?
I know. I'm right next to Logan. Yell at your names.
Troy and Marianne Cook.
Troy and Marianne Cook is going to be in Potawatomi. Pot County. Pot County. All right. You bet. And when's your meeting?
19th of March.
March 19th and
March 10th.
March 10th. All right.
We have flyers, if anybody would like one after the meeting.
Well, we're going to post it on everything too. But yes, pass them out by all means. All right. Okay. I'm sorry?
So I've already seen it plastered all over the groove.
Good. Well, that's what Kendall does. Kendall's the plaster guy. For sure. And in K County, let me give the address. It's New Hope Christian Fellowship at 401 South Lincoln Street in Ponca City. So if you guys aren't doing anything on the Saturday the 29th at noon, I highly recommend that was a good place to be. All right. Now there was one other thing I was going to go over here real quick. What was it? Oh, that's the bills. I did that. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. You ready? You know, we got everyone's got a ticket, right? Would it not be cool? Pull that ticket out. Would it not be cool if we have a stainless steel AR-15 signed by President Trump? God, I wish we had one, but we got none.
Make sure everybody's got a ticket.
Wouldn't that be cool? I said, wouldn't that be cool?
Make sure everybody's got a ticket.
Everybody got their ticket in the bucket?
Raise your hand.
Oh, all right. Someone handle this for me, would you?
I got you.
Someone got. Yeah, what'd you, Josh? Run the bucket for me. Run the bucket. Yeah, because I'm going to have to get this out. Well, wouldn't that have been cool, though? God, that'd have been cool. Boy.
No, you hang on to the ticket. If you have a ticket, hang on to it.
If you have not got a ticket, that's what we're trying to figure out.
Everybody got a ticket.
Which means you came in late.
We got your ticket? Oh, before I forget while we're sitting here, candidates, raise your hand real quick. Stand up, tell who you are, what district.
Robert McMaster, House District 83.
Right? Back there.
Eric Roberts, also running for House District 83.
All right. I tell you what, you got OK2A members. It sucks that you have two good OK2A members in the same race when we need good people spread out everywhere. But guys, hang in there and do your best. All right. Okay, so we ready? We're tickets?
I think we're good to go.
All right.
That should be the bucket right there.
All right. Okay, tonight. All right. Who feels lucky? Yeah, you feel lucky? Yeah, you feel lucky? Okay. All right, here goes. We have the last three digits are 559.
569.
I don't. 559. Come on up here. All right. You have a lovely knife right there for you. Right there. You go. Where are you in from? Where'd you say you were from?
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. That's right, Oklahoma City.
You want this back?
Do I? Oh, yes, I have to have that. Thank you very much. We turn that into our accounting firm. Okay. You ready to try it again?
Yeah.
For that AR-15?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'd say this is about a 12 gauge. All right. Okay. Okay, here we go. Woo! 553. 553. Oh, he's quiet. He's stalking us. There we go. What's your name? Adam. Adam. Appreciate you making it, Adam. You bet. All right, Adam. There's that. All right. Nice outfit. You can use that for surgery, right? Got a surgery knife. Okay. What else were we getting? Was that it? Kindle. Stickers. Oh, okay. Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Okay. Now we'll let you choose. Between a blue or yellow. Okay? All right, you get to choose. First choose. Ready? Here we go. Let me stir these up some more. Oh, I didn't put that back in there, did I? Okay. 585. Who's got 585? Yeah, there you go. You don't need any? All right. Okay, that's okay. Who needs some stickers? Let's just do it that way. All right. Who? Show them stickers? There you go, just like that. Woo!
They're nice stickers.
All right. Okay, folks. Any other questions here before we bug out of here?
Don?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to be repetitious and dumbass. If you're stopped and you have a carry license, do you have to affirmatively state that I am carrying? Or do you wait until you're asked?
Okay, we're going to talk what the law is, and then we're going to talk what you should do.
Thank you.
The law is you're under no obligation to answer him unless he asks. If you want to get out of a ticket, inform the officer at a reasonable point. Don't talk over him. Have your hands up there, and because he's going to know, as an officer, I'm legally carrying a firearm. He's going to say, "Oh, okay, whatever." I mean, that's what it's kind of come down to. So that's it. And no, that was not an ask question. It's okay. We'll let you know when it's a dumb question. All right. All right. Anybody else got one before we get out of here? Well, State Representative. I'm sorry.
Any online?
Oh, any online?
We're all good.
No. Don't they already go to sleep?
Yeah, no, we're 100 and still 120 people.
There's 120 people live right now on this, so we'll see how that goes. Must have been probably at 140 when we were talking about giving away an AR-15, right? Yeah. You got a question? No, you got a question.
No.
Oh, okay. What's your comment? What's your comment?
You made reference to the deputy that died in a car crash.
Yes.
If anyone's interested, Lieutenant Lanning's funeral will be tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
At 2 p.m. Henderson Hills Baptist Church in Edmond.
The Henderson Hills Baptist Church, the funeral for the officer Lanning.
Lieutenant Shirley Lanning.
Lanning is tomorrow at Henderson Hills in Edmond. What was that time? I'm sorry.
2 p.m.
2 p.m. So, and that place will be packed for sure. All right, thank you for that, Mr. OTAP. Any other questions? Thank you, Pastor. Pastor better get my head count for me. All right, guys. I hope who's going to try to make it Thursday? Who's got? Okay, good. Good deal. Same thing. Etiquette inside that room, the committee room, is the same as inside the gallery. No talking, no clapping. You be respectful to that chair. He is in complete control of that room because I assure you, you make one frown in the wrong direction, and the Moms Demand Actions are going to be saying you're wanting to shoot up the school or something. And it's just about that exact. You guys remember when I held up the piece of paper and drew on it, and they said I wanted to kill 4,000 people because it was on one of their deals? Yeah, that's how crazy they can be on that. So anyway, and I can't imagine the media misrepresenting what I would say. Yeah. All right.
What's that again?
What room?
Room number?
412C. 412C. Yeah. 10:30. You probably better be standing there in line before 10 o'clock to get a seat in that room. All right, and I'll probably need someone to help on a volunteer. Hey, Mr. Tucker, I didn't see you back there. That's right there. So anyway, okay, so we got that with questions? Okay, Mom, we got it locked up for the night. You can push the button so you can go to sleep now, all right? All right. Guys, I cannot thank you enough. If you are not a member of OK2A, I have no idea what you're waiting on. This is the group that's getting it done. This is the group to make sure we don't end up like Virginia. This is the group that's positive and moving things forward, and we're going to continue to do that. If you've already become an annual member, I request that you consider just becoming a $5 a month or $10 a month recurring member. This is really good. You won't even notice it. It'll also make sure you're ready to be in giveaways that we're going to have through the year. You'll already be in that, just like tonight, so you can make sure you get that AR-15 rifle.
Still waiting.
So anyway, I should have went into sales, right? Used cars? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for making it tonight. Thank you, Facebook fans, friends, and whoever else is out there. Probably Moms Demand Action. You guys get some rest. And we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good evening, y'all. Good night. I think we got it covered. Well, we're just going to pack. He said he can hold 500, so whatever.
My boss, operations manager, is coming out.
Oh, good.
Closing out, still at 105 people.
Ain't get enough.
Yeah.
What'd you need volunteer for on Thursday?
At the field, they need someone to go in and set to a seat and hold it.
time you want to leave?
Probably 4:10. Because we're going to be lined up at the room.
Parking wise, I'm probably going to be there about 9:30.
Yeah, come in early.
Okay.
And I need someone to just donate, get up and let me have that seat because I have to have that seat because I'm breathing away from the but I need you'll get up and I'll sit back down in your spot and you're going to lose your spot. That's what's going to happen.
I'm going to just stay there. So.
But and what would be cool if we got 2 or 3 people do that exact same thing, staying right there spots because, like I say, if someone holds that spot for me, because I may be in a meeting and rehearsing someone before we go in.
Okay. I'll get there as early as I can. I'll probably be there right between 9:30 and 9:45, and then I'll hold that seat. If possible, I'll hold the next seat.
Right. Yeah, because you've got something you set aside, you're there.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Either way. Yeah, that helps because they've already, most managers have already figured out if they can get in that seat, that messes us up.
Right. Yeah, just let me know when. Let me know what.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we're not getting audio, are we?